For Chattanooga, what has to happen here? If they're going to pull off a monumental upset, what do they need to accomplish here?
Well, I think it goes back to just belief and confidence. If I'm the coach at halftime talking to them, I'm just emphasizing, hey, guys, we did it for 20 minutes. What's to say we can't do this for another 20 minutes and go out and just play basketball? Don't be uptight. We're in a pretty good position right now. Let's just go out and have some fun.
Take a look at the halftime numbers. Wake, lowest shooting percentage that they have had in a first half this season. 28%. Neither team shot it well from long range. The rebounding totals. We knew Chattanooga was a good rebounding team in the Southern Conference. We just didn't know if they could do it against a legitimate ACC power.
And when you look at the individual stat line also, and Skip Prasa understands this, everybody for Chattanooga is rebounding the basketball, and look at that number there too. Fewest points in the first half, 28, and today, 24. So that's the remarkable number, I think, for Chattanooga right now, to slow down this team that scores at an 85 points per game clip.
John Shulman yesterday talked about the beginning steps of bringing this program along. If you want to talk about a major leap forward, it would be a victory here in the first round over number 2 seed Wake.
19 minutes and 50 seconds. Good steal right here.
It's Levy with those long arms. And Wake, their first crack to put points on the board in this second half, trailing Chattanooga by 3. Here's Levy, trying to get around long. And here comes the Mox the other way.
Nice look. Brown couldn't come up with a low pass down by the knees. Difficult to grab on the run by even a guy who's got good hands and runs as quickly as Brown does.
And back-to-back turnovers for Chattanooga. Number 15 seed in the Albuquerque bracket. The Mox went 20-10 this season. They did have wins over Tennessee and North Carolina Greensboro. They had a blowout loss to Creighton, 100-68.
Look at this strong double team out on the perimeter, and they respond very quickly and collapse towards the middle of the floor.
We'll see how much Chris Paul takes over here. His fingerprints are all over this second half. And knocked out of bounds. Wake will retain it. Near the end of tonight's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund, Chevy, at American Revolution. 27-24, Chattanooga. Inside, Levy can't finish. And it's stolen away underneath.
Long, another factor defensively just then.
Brown, Catalinas, and out of bounds. Wake gets it back.
And not pretty at the offensive end for Chattanooga. John Shulman going to the bench a little bit.
Now, John Shulman served under Jeff Lebo. And Shulman was actually the interim coach when Lebo left to take the Auburn job. He did not get the job full-time until they went through a stretch of interviews, determined that Shulman was indeed the best candidate. 38 years old, had to make a decision. Does he follow Lebo to Auburn, the big school, the big program, or stick it out with Chattanooga? Jump shot goes for Justin Gray.
And the byproduct of Paul really turning on the Jets on the right side of the floor, bringing it down in a hurry, and his good decision there not to barrel over a defender, but to kick the ball to the corner.
Wake Forest can set a school record in victories if they get a win here. Offensive foul, it's called against Hood, and things unraveling for Chattanooga.
I think this just tops off your point. At the end of that first half, it was starting to shift against John Shulman and Chattanooga. Now all of a sudden you can sense it starting to shift a little bit more right now.
And Shulman clearly recognizes that. A timeout. 18-18 to go. 27-26, Chattanooga leads Wake Forest. We're in the second half in Cleveland. More to come in a moment. Coming Wednesday on Survivor, one tribe is outnumbered 8-4. Now they face an unforgettable showdown. Don't miss a powerful new episode of Survivor. Special night, it's Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Chattanooga 27, Wake 26. Last lead. Back in the first half, 12-10. And a foul call. They're going to get Cherry on the personal for Chattanooga. And the second team foul against the Mocs. Trying to regain the lead. Here's Gray spreading it for Danilou. Skip pass. Open look. Chris Paul. He drills the three.
And defensively, Chattanooga deciding to really collapse and stay in the middle of the floor and give Paul the wide open shot from the left baseline. The decision has to be an adjustment right now to make sure they start going back out to the perimeter.
He's got 10 points, Paul, the only player in double figures here tonight. 29-27, the number 2 seed in the Albuquerque bracket. Wake Forest leads it. Cherry leaning in, and he draws the foul.
Good ball movement by Wake here. The extra skip pass into the corner. Where are the defenders? Nowhere to be found. An easy set shot type of jumper there. Almost just a little lift into the shot, but really can almost shoot that one without even jumping, Paul.
Second foul called on Jamal Levy, and shooting situation for Steve Cherry. 29-27, Cherry is a 64% shooter. Does a little bit of everything for this Mocs team, one of the top newcomers this season in the Southern Conference. But he misses on a pair.
Where they have to pull together defensively. Still that aggressive man-to-man. It's extended a little bit.
Lenny trying to drop a feed underneath. Williams saves it. Paul is wide open. Off the diagonal pass. Can't hit the three. And here come the Mocs.
Good decision not to skip that to long, down long.
On the outside, Hood feeding down low. Catalina's turning and can't finish.
Let it go!
Out of bounds. Chattanooga's going to hold on to it. Wake with that 2-point lead, just over 3 minutes gone by in this second half. Cherry sits for Chattanooga.
Catalina's only with 6 shots, so an opportunity for him to get the ball a little bit more often.
Here's Ricky Hood, and forced out of the interior. Long jump shot. Casey Long drops it in.
Actually, Hood really got a break. He tried to score underneath against 3 players and somehow came out of there with the basketball.
Knocks up by 1. Williams using the body, and a foul call. Williams established position. Long was in there down low. And will pick up the personal. Williams to the free throw line, a 58% shooter. Eric Williams spent a week during the summer at Tim Gergerich's big man camp, longtime professional coach. And Williams gets the first free throw to drop. Has to avoid foul trouble if this Wake team is going to be a legitimate factor in this NCAA tournament. Catalina sits. He's joined on the sideline by Charles Anderson.
There's no question about that with Williams. Translation. Too many fouls to take him off the floor. He's a great percentage free field goal shooter for this team. And forced down low.
Chattanooga and Wake tied at 30. 16.5 to go. Regulation. Malone and Pugh back in there for the Mocs. Here's Brown, a long 3. And rebounded by Williams.
The Mocs not getting much offensive glass. Last couple of trips down on their missed shots.
5th board for Eric Williams. He's got 4 points. Double team comes quickly. Ball is open off the fake. Gray, a 3. Fun.
So that's where they're at their best. Get Williams to touch inside, bringing defenders on the double team, and then that extra pass out, and the ability of either of the guards, really, Paul or Gray or Downey, really to put it on the floor and make something happen.
Gray now with 12, 5 of 12 shooting. Inside, amongst the trees, Casey Long sticks it in. Here's Gray, feeling it. 2 straight. Levy goes down, and a push call. And as Levy was attempting to go to the corner. We'll step aside, a timeout with 15:37 to play. Chattanooga trying to hang tough against Wake. Demon Deacons have picked up their shooting in the second half. A look at the game summary. Top man is Justin Gray with 12, and Chris Brown, the high man for Chattanooga, with 9. CBS Sportsline puts you on the court for this year's men's NCAA tournament. Get up-to-the-minute scoring, streaming video highlights for every first-round game at CBSSportsline.com. 33-32. Wake Forest leading Chattanooga. They maintain possession after Levy was pushed down going for the ball. Paul whips it inside. And a foul called as Williams got possession. Pugh was there defensively.
And the fact that Williams continues to post up and they continue to look down on the blocks is really helping them from a team foul perspective.
They'll get Ricky Hood on the personal foul. Hood redshirted last year, sophomore from Tupelo, Mississippi. Good size and known as a strong defender, a team player.
5 team fouls already. Chattanooga with 5:29 left. When you're Skip Prosser and Wake Forest now, you have to start thinking about taking advantage of that number on the scoreboard.
Third foul on Hood. Catalinas comes in with Cherry for the Mocs. And a turnover.
Yeah, stepping out of bounds on the side. Again, another strong double team. It's interesting how Chattanooga gets together often. Right in front of Skip Prosser there. They kind of group together in a little huddle. They've probably done that 10 times already in this game. Everybody on the same page.
Cherry using the body against Gray.
Getting to put the ball on the floor at the same time.
Long comes to the ball. We approach 5 minutes elapsed in this second half. Wake has regained the lead. Long taking his time. This is Brown now, 10 to shoot. Having a tough time finding a shot in the half court. 4 to shoot. Long, a long three, living up to his last name.
And then some.
Longer.
You got that right. And with the shot clock sitting on 2.
Williams inside. He's too big.
He sure is. Too strong also. It's that positioning beforehand. Skip Prosser says he has to get a little more aggressive down there, but by nature, he's a very nice, quiet type of kid. But they have to really start to ride him a little bit on the blocks.
Long has scored 8 straight for Chattanooga. Tied at 35. On the entry, Catalinas, a chance for 3.
They must get him more touches because his positioning down on the lower blocks is as effective as Williams is down the other end. Shot clock working against Long right there. You see 2 on it, disappears into the 1, turns into 3. And here's the very good footwork by Catalinas down low, uses his strength to extend, and it's 6'9", wiry strength. Pretty good positioning down low. I think they have to get him some more touches.
3rd foul on Eric Williams as Skip Prosser is going to send Chris Ellis into the game and not chance Williams getting into further trouble. Early stages still of this second half. Catalinas completes the 3-point play. Chattanooga up by 3.
Extending the defense now to a 1-2-2. Looking for a couple of traps.
Trent Strickland in there with Teron Downey.
Try to get Wake to take a little quicker shot than they may want to right now, down 3 points.
Paul, Ellis, and Danilus round out the 5 on the floor for Wake.
Let's see what it's done now. It's taken just a little bit of the steam out of Wake Forest's offensive set right now. Now we're down to 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Paul directing traffic. He wants an isolation. Shot clock down to 3. Paul lets it go. It's a triple.
Boy, did he ever set him up defensively, too. Had the basketball, faking like he wanted to use that screen, called him right over, and then recognized that the defender stepped back, wide open jumper by Paul.
What a showcase this March could turn out to be for young Chris Paul. As you advance in the tournament, more people are paying attention. And a foul called against Paul in the backcourt. Casey Long able to draw it on his fellow North Carolina native. Tied at 38. 2nd foul on Paul. And that is the 3rd team foul against the Demon Deacons. Now Downey will provide the pressure. Hugh gets a touch.
Be patient right here. Don't forget about your big guy down low.
Chattanooga, number 15 seed in the Albuquerque bracket. Trying to regain the lead here. It's Pugh. Can't get the 3 to drop, and Danilus clears.
A trip where they should have gotten Catalinas a touch, I thought.
Driving in, Strickland able to find the opening. Trent Strickland, the junior, getting the bucket, a versatile wing player for Skip Prosser. And he gives Wake a 2-point lead. Long against Downey. And the fend-off is called on the offensive. Trying to create some space between him and the senior.
And use the left arm to push off. And here's that break coming down the other end. Strickland using his body to go towards the basket and make things happen. And you touched on to give Wake that 2-point lead.
Back in 1997, Chattanooga went to the Sweet 16, losing to Providence 71-65. Pulled off a couple of upsets, though, beating Georgia and Illinois as a 14 seed. Paul, the floater, jarred loose. Paul goes down to get it with Danilus. Same team. Here's Paul on the redirect. Pretty. Finds Danilus, followed up by Ellis.
Boy, was that ever a pretty delivery, though, by Paul. He didn't get the assist on it, but boy, he set Danilus up very nicely, going away and dropping it back to the right block.
And Wake Forest up by 4. We will hit the 12-minute mark of this second half. Head and shoulder fake, spin by Cherry, open look, Anderson. No. Rebounded weak side by Ellis.
Oh, look at the push again.
7-0 run, no call off the spin move, touched by Strickland, out of bounds. 42-38, a timeout in Cleveland. Demon Deacons running a 7-0 run. They lead 42-38. This is a critical stretch, don't you think, for Chattanooga?
Yeah, I really do. I think it's one of those times in the game that you really need to step up, and I think you really have to hold your ground at the defensive end first. Really start to work the defensive boards just like they did in the first half, but really rebound as a committee again. And one of the things, too, at the offensive end is Wake changes up a little bit right now with the 1-2-2. They have to make good decisions at this offensive end.
On the attack, Pugh is open. The floater is good for Alfonso Pugh.
And that's great recognition right there. Against that 1-2-2, they made the right decisions coming down the floor, got past the first 3 guys, and made good decisions.
9 points for Pugh. Strickland drains the 3. 45-40. 11-17 to go in the second half. Wake with a 5-point lead on Chattanooga. Trading baskets here as Wake is trying to establish control here in this second half. We saw Chattanooga lead by as many as 8 in the first half. And a foul call. That's a good foul by Chris Brown. That was a 3-on-1 developing. It's Brown, and it's his 3rd.
Team 7th. Pretty good decision. Even though you put the guy to the free throw line right there, don't give up the 4-on-1 layup.
And Chris Paul will shoot a pair.
Well, he's a very good free throw shooter. Probably should have given up the basketball a little quicker, actually, when he saw that he had the 4-on-1.
14 points now for Paul. He was one of the greatest
entertainers who
ever lived. They called him the King. Don't miss the original movie event of the year. It's Elvis, coming this May on CBS. Paul, 2 out of 2. 15 points on 4 of 12 from the field. He has converted on all 4 of his free throw attempts. Jerice Crouch has come back in for Chattanooga, handling the ball. Catalinas hands to Cherry. 7-point Wake lead.
Not a bad time to get Catalinas the basketball down low.
Pugh looking for some space, and he puts it in. He's got nice offensive touch.
He does, because you know what he's doing also? He's really delaying a little bit, hesitating with the ball.
Paul loops it ahead. Ellis not free. Out of bounds. Last touch, Chattanooga.
There was Pugh defensively also right there waiting. Ellis caught the basketball but didn't really snatch it out of the air for his delivery.
Pugh is now the high man for the Mocs with 11. Downey catch and shoot. A 3.
You can see a comfort level building for Wake right now. The perimeter game looking very comfortable out on the floor, setting the tone. Paul and company really deciding and making good decisions.
First points of the night for the senior from Oxford, North Carolina, Teron Downey, trying to answer. Chris Brown does with a triple. Chattanooga showing some fight with 10:07 to play in regulation. Timeout. Wake Forest 50, Chattanooga 45, 10:07 to play, second half here in Cleveland. Skip Prosser returning all 5 starters from that Sweet 16 team from 1 year ago. And after some shaky moments in that first half, looks like they've reestablished the rhythm.
Yeah, they've reestablished the rhythm, but also you can see the veteran leadership taking over. Guys have been in tough situations before, regrouping from last year, from this season, a tough schedule that they've played this year.
And not surprising, Paul's been the catalyst. Oh, that doesn't happen often. Strickland.
In the backyard, we call that a neck ball.
N-E-C-K?
You got it.
What's the derivation?
And when the team makes that neck ball, you win automatically. You walk off the court.
Well, here's a jump ball, so to speak, and the possession arrow favored Wake. Out of bounds, and the Demon Deacons will retain.
I did say it was a backyard rule.
Oh, yeah.
This game would have been over.
Well, I took out the rule book from the NCAAs. I didn't see it.
Guys would have been leaving the court.
Wake Forest 50, Chattanooga 45. You can't do that if you try.
No, that's difficult. Doesn't say it's a very nice shot either, by the way.
No, you missed it pretty badly.
You squeeze one in up there.
Off penetration, Downey's open. Back-to-back threes to Ron Downey.
The guy who shoots it at 42% on the season, but he is getting very clean looks. Another turnover, going to go the other way. Wake really starting to take control at both ends.
Now, John Shulman told us that throughout the season, they've taken their chances, allowing teams to shoot the three. When they miss, the team wins 20 games. When they hit, they lose 10.
Right. So you pick your poison, and that's what he was talking about yesterday. I think he'd rather have it come from long range than rather down on the blocks.
Now keep it on the perimeter now. Paul has it. They've extended to an 8-point lead here in the second half. Paul, a five! Levy just has had a tough time converting around the rim, but a foul call.
Paul is so quick at getting to spots on the floor, but here it looks almost as if he's going to take a jump shot in traffic, but then decides to cross and go to the left side, and boom, the miss here, a little hit, but man, does he ever get the ball diagonally quickly across the court.
And if you're Levy or anyone else on the floor, you have to be ready at all moments for that ball coming your way.
Keep those hands up or you're going to get embarrassed.
Levy does not shoot it well from the line, 49%. Moved to the United States for his junior and senior years of high school, attending Berkshire Academy. Don't miss a minute of March Madness. Get live video to all games outside of your viewing area. Watch live team press conferences and access archives of games you missed. Get NCAA March Madness on demand only at ncaasports.com or cstv.com. It's a 10-point lead. Levy able to hit on a pair. Under 9 minutes to go now.
As you touched on a 49% free throw shooting, knocking back a pair like that, they will take it.
Long and out of bounds. It's going to be Mox Paul.
Once again, the quickness of Paul, a factor on the defensive end with a deflection out there at half court.
Now this Chattanooga team has handled a different kind of pressure. The pressure of being expected to win their conference tournament on their home floor. 66-62, they knocked off North Carolina Greensboro to win the Southern Conference tournament title. But when you step up in class, so to speak, against the ACC, it's a different kind of pressure. Long, can't hit it from deep.
And to be able to sustain it like they did in the first 20 minutes. The size and strength and talent of the Wake Forest team is tough to contend with.
Well, the fact that they didn't have a double-digit lead as poorly as Wake Forest played in the first half, that was a big, big issue for Chattanooga at the break.
And as poorly as Wake shot the ball also in the first half.
20-7 Wake Forest run. I remember Catalinas had that three-point play that gave the Mocs a three-point lead at the 14-20 mark. It's been all Wake since. Paul, the penetration. And the turnaround. Soft touch. Was that touch? Underneath.
Yeah, I think it was touched by Catalinas, though.
No, Levy did not touch it. It would have been offensive goaltending. And now Paul has stepped it up. 17 points to lead Wake. 57-45, Demon Deacons. Down to 7:40 remaining. Off the entry pass, it's intercepted. Ellis stepped in front. And now Downey will slow it down for Wake. They have quietly and methodically assumed control of this game.
Well, that's the sign of good basketball teams, I think, when they are struggling, but then they can pull it back together again.
Paul in and out for three. Loose ball foul inside. The push on Catalinas. 7:19 to go. Wake Forest up by double digits. last time a 15 seed scored a first-round upset, have to go back to 2001. Hampton knocked off Iowa State. Marvis Williams gave the Pirates the lead, 7 seconds to play. They got the W, 58-57, and that indelible image, Steve Mertfeld being lifted to the heavens.
That's a fabulous image right there.
Number 15 seed beating a number 2. Richmond did it back in 1991 against Syracuse, Santa Clara, Coppin State. And Chattanooga holding out hope that they can put their names into the history books.
I'm going to carry you off the floor after Saturday's last game.
I'd like to see you try that. We'll have video next year's tournament. 58-45, Wake Forest. Levy for another free throw. And he's hit 4 in a row. Wake extends to a 14-point advantage.
They continue to extend up.
Trying to get a sub in. Eric Williams wants to check in for Chris Ellis, and they will allow it. Ellis sits, 7:19 to play. Extending full court, Downey against Chris Brown.
I like the fact that Wake has extended this defense, the man-to-man going full court, just to keep the mental edge sharp. I think that was a good adjustment by Skip Prosser to really get his guys thinking defense first.
Catalina's playing with 4 fouls, and that's a personal foul called inside against Wake. Sunday on CBS, a housewife is murdered. Now, 23 years later, new clues lead detectives to a neighborhood full of suspects. Don't miss a new episode of Cold Case, Sunday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Under 7 minutes to play. Catalinas handling the ball himself, not a wise decision.
Great move there by Gray defensively. Not only with the tip, but the dive to get it free.
Here's Downey trying to bounce it off. Chattanooga, he does. And Wake will hold on to it. 59-45, Demon Deacons. Such high expectations this year, picked number 1 by a number of preseason publications.
Don't let that first half fool you totally. They have some guns, obviously, and they're perimeter driven. They also have enough big guys down low, especially with Eric Williams, to establish on the blocks. So a good mixture of inside and outside play and some experience.
There's Paul on a kick out. Gray, 9 to shoot. Off the drive, short on the run.
Nice tip out.
And poked ahead. Long taking it to the hoop. Hood was unable to finish inside. And a foul call as Long was in the act of shooting. So a couple of free throws coming for Casey Long, the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's going to be Levy picking up the personal. It's number 3 on him. And the clock stops with 6:17 to go. Casey Long, he's a leader on this Chattanooga team. Coming up later on here in Cleveland, second half of the late doubleheader from the Albuquerque bracket. West Virginia against Creighton, which should be a fun one. Two teams that like to shoot it from long range.
They do. They mimic one another pretty nicely. They stretch the game out a little bit. John Beilein's team, West Virginia, really methodical at the offensive end. They'll work the shot clock down also.
Long now with 9 points on 3 of 10 shooting. It's a 13-point disparity as we approach the 6-minute mark. Inside, knocked away from Williams. Downey's got it. They've got plenty of time on the shot clock. Entry. Williams using the foul. Are they going to count it? Catalinas was there as the second man through. Pugh is going to get called on the personal foul.
Oh, I know how Wake Forest's bench would vote on this one. Over there, everybody jumped up at the same time. I don't know. That one's close to coming down, I think, from that angle. One of the toughest calls to determine whether that ball is on the way down or not. That, along with the block charging call in basketball, two of the toughest calls because of quick bang-bang type of calls.
So 2 free throws for Eric Williams. Led the ACC in field goal percentage this season, 62% for Skip Prosser. Prosser has done it all. Former high school coach, worked his way up. 12th year as Division I head coach. And Williams missing on the first. In addition to America's greatest sports, TV's biggest hits are on CBS. From the #1 drama CSI to the #1 comedy Everybody Loves Raymond. More people are watching CBS than any other network. And Williams missing on a pair of free throws. And a foul called as Pugh came up with a rebound. Looked like Levy. And that's number 4 on him. And team foul number 6 against Wake. So they still had 1 to give. 5:53 to go here in Cleveland. 59-46 Wake Forest.
Well, Chattanooga has about 2 or 3 more minutes really to make a good run right here to try to get themselves back into this game. Good backdoor cut.
Catalinas unable to catch it cleanly, and it's an unforced error, a turnover.
Yeah, that's a shame too, because he was going right for it. He thought the ball, he wanted to pass up high, but it was right on the chest, right in the hands, and he kind of looked right through it at the same time.
Chattanooga 15-1 when they score 70 points or more this season. Looked like they were going to get to 70 potentially in the early stages, but then the defense really kicked in. And a foul call. That's Catalinas, and it's number 5. That's it. Indaugas Catalinas, the senior from Lithuania. He has really improved during his time at Chattanooga. Leads the team in scoring, rebounding, three-point shooting, free throw attempts. Transferred from the College of Eastern Utah. Timeout wasn't called. This will be a substitution after the foul out on Catalinas. One of the captains of this team, along with Casey Long, and getting some words of encouragement from John Schulman, the senior communications major, will take a seat on the bench. Has given this Mocs program a lot of heart.
You can only hope for the best right now with 5 and change left.
That his career can somehow continue. Williams good with the first free throw. Eric Williams, his dad played college football. His mom played college basketball at Livingstone. And he misses on the second attempt. It's a 14-point Wake cushion. Here's Brown looking to take over a bit. Nice looking jump shot straight away.
They really now have to start going after it a little bit more on the defensive end, take some chances, a little gambling. And then at the same time at the offensive end, be a little quicker into their sets.
Still within striking distance. It's a 12-point game with an even 5 minutes to play. Chattanooga looking for some stops here against the number 2 seed, Wake Forest.
This is where it's great to have 3 ball handlers on the floor at one time for Wake.
Feed the post. Williams turns and connects.
They're spreading the court and finally really getting him his touches that he so deserves down on the blocks.
And 62-48. 9 points for Williams. He's got 5 boards. To the interior. Long had it blocked. And here comes Wake on a break. Nice feed. A nifty pass to Williams for the slam.
Do you think Williams understands who has the basketball as he's coming down the floor, looking for opportunities? Paul with a terrific delivery. And a technical foul. Watch the quick zip right to Williams as he comes down.
Technical foul was called against John Schulman because Long and Dowdalus got tied up as Downey misses the free throw on the other end of the floor. And Schulman felt there should have been a foul call as Wake went on the fast break. Another free throw coming. Downey, 1 out of 2. 88% shooter this season. There's Schulman sharing his opinion. Officials took exception to it. And with 4:24 to play in this second half, Chattanooga with the ball, but down 65-48. Not sure if the score is going to indicate just how tight this game was for a long stretch of time.
It will not, but it will indicate the tools that Wake Forest has.
Cherry feeding, Hugh, bank shot, and a foul call. He'll shoot a pair. Wake Forest able to come back. Panic never set in. It was still in the first half when Wake really made that first initial run. And you and I both felt that if the halftime break didn't come along, Wake was ready to bust through in that first half.
If there were 4 or 5 minutes left in that first half, they really would have gotten it going a little quicker. They waited until the break. Skip Prosser made his adjustments. Eric Williams getting some touches.
Great action continuing here. First round of the NCAA tournament here in Cleveland. West Virginia and Creighton still to come, which should be a 3-point party. 65-50 as we send it to New York and Greg Gumbel. .355 to go in this second half, and a foul called out front. It is going to be Chris Brown picking up the personal. Wake Forest has the 15-point lead. .353 to play, second half. Wake Forest 65, Chattanooga 50. John Schulman's 15th seeded Mocs. Excellent effort in that first half, but in the second half, they've been outclassed by the Demon Deacons. Back to New York. Let's go to Greg Gumbel. Chris Paul able to hit the free throw. And Paul has another coming. Put up big numbers in this second half. He's got 18 points overall, 5 assists, and a couple of steals.
And he continues to put his stamp on a game, though. When they need him to step up, he is rebounding the basketball, just really under control. Terrific effort, and his decisions coming down the floor just then. An opportunity where Ellis wanted him to lob the ball to him. He thought better of it.
Down to 3:25 remaining. Wake Forest with a 66-50 advantage over the Mocs of Chattanooga. Here's Paul one-on-one with Long. Off the spin, Downey's open, a three. Short, and it's rebounded by Long for the Mocs. Chattanooga running out of time here, down by 16. And that floater won't go from Ricky Hood. Wake on the move as we send it to New York and Greg Hubbard. Chris Paul with the bucket, 68-50. Wake. And Paul has put up a total of 20 points.
Great example, too, of how he tries to bait you in to come get him when he has the ball in the middle of the floor, and his judgment's so good. You don't know what he's going to do with the ball, and then finally he just floats up a little soft one to the hoop.
Steve Cherry handles it with 2.5 to go. Cherry, no call on the spin to the rim, and the deuce. Skip Prosser wanted an offensive foul.
May have been right on that one.
Wake 68, Chattanooga 52. Come up on 2 minutes to play. Demon Deacons will take their time.
Once again, with Paul and Downey and Gray on the floor, they can really spread the floor, take time off the clock.
To go, second half. Paul with a long three that doesn't drop. Knocked outside. Wake can use more clock, and they've got this one on ice. 68-52. Demon Deacons.
It was not their prettiest effort, especially in the first half, but it really shows you what they're made out of. The veterans taking over, the experience, the unselfish play that they have. There's still a lot of fight left in Wake Forest.
Paul handles it. Chattanooga not looking to foul here. 9 to shoot. They'll use every bit of that shot clock. Gray, the penetration. And the upper number goes down for Justin Gray.
And that's why at the end of basketball games, when they are close, Wake Forest is difficult to beat because of the ability of 3 guys to put it on the floor and make things happen.
And a timeout with 1:06 left. Wake Forest has got this one just about in the books. This Wake Forest team has posted 93 wins over the last 4 years. That is the Skip Prosser era. And it looks like it's going to turn into 94 in about 1:06 as Wake is poised to move on to the second round. Let's check out the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. First half field goal percentage, Wake a season low 28%. They've stepped it up in the second half, 58%. Get complete NCAA tournament coverage at CBSSportsline.com.
And in addition to that better shooting, they also did a much better job of rebounding the basketball.
Richard Joyce and Kyle Visser have checked in, along with Trent Strickland. And rebounded by Downey for Wake. Final 50 seconds. Downey slowing it down. Wake Forest. An appearance in the Sweet 16 last year in a loss to St. Joseph's. And they are moving on to the second round in the Albuquerque bracket. 10 seconds to shoot. And through the hands of Visser. Tonight, Chevrolet players of the game from Chattanooga, Chris Brown, 14 points, and Chris Paul from Wake Forest. Outstanding second half, controlling the action for the young point guard.
And that's what it's all about, especially when a little bit of adversity hits.
Wow, that one rings in. That was Jerice Crouch getting the bucket. After a first-half scare, Wake Forest advances. The second seed in the Albuquerque bracket knocks off number 15 Chattanooga as we go to Greg Unger in New York.
I think we're going to do it one at a time.
You can do one, I can leave. I'm okay with leaving.
Skip first half total 24 points for you. Obviously something that you weren't too happy about. What was the message at halftime that you delivered to your team?
Well, I mean, I just thought we had a lot of really wide open looks. I thought we were maybe shooting it too quickly. I felt if we reversed the ball a couple of times, we were still going to get those same looks. So the second half, we tried to make a little more of a concerted effort to get the ball and go a little bit more inside out.
Really nice to have guys like Chris Paul and the others that experience backcourt come to work for you when you really go through a little bit of adversity.
Well, I think in the second half we hit some big shots, and Eric stepped up and made some big plays. So, again, we feel fortunate. You know, we're still playing.
Talk about just a little bit about getting this first one behind you. Tough first half, as I talked about a little bit, but what do you think about Saturday in terms of your team? A little bit more comfortable, you think?
I hope so. I mean, I think for whatever reason, we played tentatively 2 years ago in the tournament and even a little bit last year. And we racked our brains just trying to figure out why that is. And I thought in the first half we played tentatively. And again, it's something, you know, maybe I got to bring in Dr. Phil or Sion, I don't know if he's on your network or not. But
we'll get rid of us.
Or somebody, so we play a little less tentatively.
Well, good luck on Saturday. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Seemed like you took over. About 15 minutes left in this game. It felt to me that it was time for you to take over.
Coach said that we needed to play with a little bit more energy, so that's just what I tried to bring. Seemed like in the first half we had some of those jitters that hopefully that's gone now.
When you find yourself in that situation, do you want to try to get Eric Williams a little bit more involved on the blocks?
Always, because, you know, he's a big fella down low, and it's really hard to stop him. And I think we're going to go as far as he's going to carry us.
Do you expect your team to be more comfortable on Saturday compared to the first half here tonight?
I think so. I don't think anybody realizes, you know, how much pressure is on you in this NCAA tournament. You know, it's a lot of fun, but you just got to go out and play, and that's what we try to do tonight.
Good job tonight. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Jim.